Welcome to Injured? Ask Grover, featuring top personal injury attorney David Grover. Voted a New York super lawyer 6 consecutive years, David brings his 3 decades of experience to explain the most common questions he encounters from all forms of negligence, recklessness, and carelessness. Misconduct that can cause emotional, mental, or physical harm. This is the podcast where injury law meets real life. No legal fog, no corporate spin, just straight talk from the plaintiff's side of the courtroom. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our brand new podcast featuring personal injury attorney David Grover. My name is Thad Helsley, and I'm just here to help out the show. And of course, I'm here with our star, David Grover. And David, this is your very first episode of your own podcast. And so big congratulations are in order.
Thank you, Thad. So happy to be here. You know, you come out, and our goal is to always help people. And your podcast, this podcast, we want to educate our people, our friends, our family, our listeners as much as possible. Auto accidents are such a serious issue, and you really need to know how to react, how to handle them, what to do if this happens. So to come out here and be able to talk about such an important topic and help people is really so important to us. And thank you so much for doing this.
And because, or since this is your first episode, there's probably a lot of people out there who are listening that don't actually know a lot about you. So maybe you want to just tell a little about yourself, you know, sort of that first question at the job interview, just kind of familiarize people with yourself.
Absolutely. So like you said, I'm David Grover. I'm an attorney. I am a lifelong New Yorker. I am born in Brooklyn, New York, which sure you know well.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in a suburb right north of New York City, Rockland County, the village of Fields, town of Haverstraw. I went to college and law school at the University of Buffalo,
Awesome.
which, yes, that is part of New York State. People don't always realize that. And the Buffalo Bills are a New York football team. That's another thing people don't always realize.
I think we do know that, yeah.
Yes, all right. People forget sometimes.
Well, there's a lot of fans down here in D.C., that New Yorker fans, yeah.
It's far, but it is far. It's the other side of the state. Great city, by the way. Great, underrated place to be. And then after law school, moved back to New York, got married, had kids, raised my family in the beautiful city of New York. And when I got back here, I founded my law firm with my roommate from law school, David Fensterstock.
Oh, really?
Hence the name Grover and Fensterstock.
Great story.
And yes, so we founded in 99. So we're pushing 27 years of being together.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a long time. It's a long time. A lot of experience, a lot of years, a lot of stories. And my practice, the focus of what I do is personal injury, auto accidents, slip and falls, negligence. That's kind of what I've been doing really for the entire 26 years. It's really what I love to do, to help people, to take a victim who went through something terrible and help them through it and help them receive whatever compensation they deserve. And I think it's a very meaningful job for me. I enjoy helping people, and that's kind of why I do this every day.
Well, and it's obviously incredibly meaningful to the person who has been injured, right? I mean, this could be a matter of maybe not life and death, but I mean, the amounts of money and liability things are just so, huge. So, I mean, you're like, the angel Gabriel or something saving them, probably.
It is, and these are life-changing things.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
First part is just going through it is very stressful, very aggravating for people. So I think one of my things, and really what I have my people do in my firm, is to really essentially hold their hands through this process. It's a very difficult process, especially if you don't understand what's going on.
Right.
So we always, communication is important. Helping them through it, explain what's going on. And then, of course, at the end of the day, these people went through a lot and they deserve their compensation. So we work hard to make sure, and we're successful at getting people what they deserve.
Mm-hmm.
And after what they've gone through, they really need it and really do deserve it. So that's the most satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing better than calling that client up and saying, hey, we got you that settlement. It's the best feeling in the world.
That's got to be unbelievably satisfying. But so before we jump into today's topic, I do have a question. I know you are barred in the state of New York, but I imagine a lot of people from around the country will listen to this podcast, just from the SEO and everything else. When it comes to personal injury topics like the ones we're discussing, how similar are the laws of the various states? And is it primarily state law or federal law that governs those situations?
It's a great question. So while there is some overlap between states,
okay,
the states have very different rules.
Oh, they do?
Very different laws.
Okay.
Deadlines. I mean, these things are so important. Like, for example, in New York, for the most part, I would say there's always exceptions, but for the most part, we have a 3-year statute of limitations to file a lawsuit in a personal injury matter in the majority of cases.
That's a long time. That's actually pretty good.
You go over the border over here, a few miles into Jersey, it's 2 years for most cases. Change. Again, I have to always add, there's always exceptions, and that's why I always hire an attorney.
Right.
Because there are always exceptions. Government lawsuits are different. They're less, medical malpractice is different. But for your standard auto case, it's typically 3 years. We have other deadlines. We have other rules. So it's really important to have an attorney in your state represent you. So yes, we handle New York cases. We also know attorneys around the country, so we're able to refer our clients to attorneys out of state if need be. And that's always something we're happy to do as well. Federal court is not really a place where you get a lot of personal injury cases.
Okay.
Federal courts do not want to deal with personal injury. That's just not their thing. So we do that. We see that sometimes, but it's only in a rare situation because federal courts, personal injury cases are usually a federal question, right? That's one of the requirements to get into federal court.
Right.
So the rare times we're in federal court is when, for example, we have what's called complete diversity. So the parties are from different states. So we have a client, we have a client in New York. We sue the driver who's from Jersey, who's driving a car with an owner from Massachusetts. So we'll sue those parties, and those parties sometimes, most of the time, will do what they call remove the case, which is move the case from state court to federal court. So outside of those rare occurrences, you're typically in state court, especially in New York, not federal, usually New York State. And that's kind of the personal injury practice is really a state court type of practice with few exceptions.
Gotcha. So David, this is our first episode. So maybe just to get started, you could give us a quick overview of what the personal injury legal space is. I mean, we already mentioned auto accidents. I mean, what does the whole space encompass? And when should people call an attorney like yourself to help?
Call an attorney right away.
Okay.
It's like anything else, right? You have a medical condition. What's the basic thing? Call a doctor. You have a tax issue. Call an accountant. You obviously get arrested. Let's hope that doesn't happen. You get arrested. Call an attorney. So it's really important to call an attorney as soon as possible. There are so many deadlines that come early in the process. There are things that have to be documented. So call one, make sure they're on notice of it. We're out there. And, the thing about personal injury compared to other parts of the law is, for the most part, personal injury attorneys get paid a percentage of what you get in a settlement. You don't pay a personal injury attorney up front. Nobody walks into my office with an accident case and writes me a check. It doesn't work that way. So in other fields of law, yes, get an attorney. But I get there's always an economic issue with that. Not everyone has the disposable income to pay an attorney to do whatever. But when it comes to personal injury cases, it is contingency based. We charge nothing unless we collect for you. And that's true of the majority of attorneys who do this around the country.
Got it.
Yes. Have an attorney, call one right away. The sooner the better.
I just wish divorces worked that way. Anyway.
They're not a contingency.
No. Okay, so David, you chose today's topic as automobile accidents. We've already kind of kind of hit on that a little bit. What's the best place to start? Like, should we start with what should people do, like when it actually happens? What should they immediately do?
Yeah. And I think it's so important because our phones are ringing off the hook. We have a lot of cases, unfortunately. There are a lot of accidents out there.
Yeah.
And most people don't realize until they're there what to do. And it's so important to do certain things when you're in a car accident. Okay. For example, as soon as this happens, pull over to the side of the road. Get out of the zone of danger. There are many stories out there. I'm sure you've read about them. People get out of a car after an accident and something tragic happens. Get to a safe spot, number one. Secondly, if you're injured or feel anything, call the police right away. Call the police, call 911, get an ambulance. Don't risk your health.
Mm-hmm.
Most important thing, your health is paramount. Everything else could be taken care of later on. That's the most important thing I want everyone to really emphasize here today. Once you do that, there are other things you need to do. We need to document everything. Call the police. Sometimes they come, sometimes they don't. The other driver, get their driver's license, get their registration, get their insurance. Take photos of the license plates of the other car. Take photos of the damage. Take photos or note any security cameras around the area. Witnesses, anyone who's a witness, get them. Find out their name. Find out their number. This could be absolutely critical later on. So you want everything documented. You want everything done the right way. And it's so important for this to happen. Now, sometimes if I ever do an interview or podcast, and you always want to have stories that are relevant, sometimes material stories present themselves. And what I'm saying is, last week we were discussing this about having this podcast and explaining what to do when you're in an accident. I was actually on a phone call. My cell phone rings and it's my wife. And sometimes what I do is I pick up the phone and I stay on my call if I know I'm about to get off. So I pick up her call, finish up my call, and I hear, pick up. I was hit. What? Got off the call, picked up the phone. Okay, calm down. What happened? Tell me everything that happened. She was on the highway. Somebody hit her car in the rear. I said, okay. And I told her exactly what she knows already, what I just said on this podcast.
Right.
Pull over to a safe side. Get away from the highway. Okay. Get the license. Get the registration. Get the insurance. Get the photos. Document document everything there. It's really important. Okay. Calmed her down. It was good. A little time goes by. I didn't hear back. So I called her again. I said, how's it going? It's good. Okay, I'm coming home now. I said, great. What's the insurance company? And I asked that because some insurance companies in New York and around the country are notorious to be really bad or really good. And you kind of want to know how difficult this is going to be to deal with. So
this is her insurance company, not the insurance company of the other driver. Is that
the
what you're saying?
The other driver. That was what I wanted.
Oh, that's the one. Okay. The other driver.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. She said, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? I didn't get it. You didn't get it? You didn't get it. After all these years being married to me, knowing what I do for a living. Look, I understand.
Is this the first time she's been in an accident since you guys have been married?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Okay, well, that's crazy.
And she left there without the car insurance. Now, there are ways to get it. We have access to the DMV website. We could do searches and kind of get these anyway, but I couldn't believe it. So, to be fair, and we're a fair podcast, right? We should have her come on here and defend herself, don't you think?
Sure. Absolutely.
So let's do that. Let's get her on. What do you say?
Perfect. Hello, Jill. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
Good. So we were David was just discussing your case. And so, and I'm just here to pitch questions at him and ask stupid questions. But he wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about your accident.
Yeah. 3 years. No, I'm sorry. 13 and a half years, had a car, never had an accident. No one had ever hit me. 13 and a half years. 3 months, brand new leased car, accident. I was getting on the Triborough from the Bronx, right under the cameras where they take a picture of your Easy Pass. And all of a sudden, I feel this, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Pull over to the side of the road, and I call David, of course, in a panic. I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Accident." And he doesn't realize that I'm calling for a specific reason, a lawyer reason. And I'm like, yelling into the phone, "Accident, accident, I had an accident." And he's talking, ending a phone call with whoever he was talking to, not realizing that it was an emergency.
He was actually, we were doing a test for this podcast. Actually, it was just a coincidence that you called at that exact time.
Wait a minute.
And I just told the exact story. I just told the exact same story you just told.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Are you serious? He was on the phone with you?
Yeah.
And I already explained to the audience, I said, I start off by explaining what you do when you're in an accident. And I said, sometimes material presents itself. And I told the story. And I said, and I told my wife, who's been married to me for 26 years, license, registration, insurance, photos, everything else. And then, of course, you got in the car and I said to you, "What's the insurance?" You said, "I didn't get it."
Yeah, I completely forgot. And I felt bad. He was an older man, and you could just see he was distressed, like just wasn't happy. And he's like, I just had an accident too. So yeah, I felt really
He
bad.
probably shouldn't have been driving in the first place, right?
I said that to David. I don't think he should have a license. I honestly, because right before that, I was in my lane and there was a car in front of me in 2 lanes. I'm like, what is happening here? And then I get in my left lane, I proceed, and phew, yeah. So
Now, if I wasn't your husband, would you have listened to me and gotten the insurance? Is it because listen because
no,
I was a private lawyer? Would you have remembered to get the car insurance?
I don't know. I honestly, I was just really frazzled. I was like upset. I was like, I can't believe this. And then I felt bad for the guy, and I don't know. It was a lot of things going on. And also, of course, it was a long day, and I wanted to get home already. And well, here you go, just making my commute even longer than it normally is. So yeah, it was just a whole lot of things. And you just get frazzled. And I think even though my husband is a lawyer, I don't think that it really helps. Your emotions get in the way, and it happens.
And I guess that's why I wanted to have her on here too, because that's sort of the moral of the story here, which is even someone like her who's married to a personal injury lawyer who called me, I gave her everything what to do, but like she just said, and it's understandable, I can make fun of her about it, but she's right. You get flustered, you're in the moment,
You do.
you're stressed out, you're upset, and you forget to get something, you forget to do something. So that's okay. But we're here today to kind of to emphasize these things,
Right.
and hopefully people don't forget. And maybe when it happens to them, hopefully it doesn't, but if it does, they'll remember to ask for these things and get these things. And I understand why she didn't. I was going to make a joke that I'm the husband, so she doesn't listen to me, but I'm not going to go there because I don't think that's true.
No, that wasn't it. And honestly, regardless of your occupation, I would have called you anyway.
That's true.
But it just helps that you're a lawyer and this is what you do for a living. So, but it didn't really help me because I still forgot. So, yeah.
Well, and I was going to ask, actually, the next question, even before we brought on Jill, was going to be, David, what is the threshold when you're in an accident where you actually call the police? What is that threshold?
Well, I always tell clients, call the police regardless. But
Okay, even for a fender bender.
Is injury, damage, property damage,
Okay.
either you or someone else. It could be damage to a property. It could be They tell you if you don't see this so much in New York City, but if you hit an animal, anything like that, you should call the police.
Okay. Jill, did you call the police?
When in doubt, just call.
You did not call the police. Okay.
And it's interesting because I take the Grand Central every day, and they have those overhead signs, and they have direct instructions of what to do when you're in an accident. It says minor accident, pull over. No, it says minor accident. If no injuries, pull over, exchange information. And because they don't want you calling the police. No, really.
Yeah, there aren't enough armies in the world for Manhattan, right? So, of police. I mean, there's a finite number of people, right?
Well, that's what it is. So that's what I was going to say. Also, you could call the police, and quite often that they won't come unless it's something catastrophic.
Unless there's a real actual injury, right? Maybe.
Yeah, but even that. But a lot of times, unless it's really, really bad, they're not going to come. There's so much going on here, and then like she said, there are signs on the highway that says if you have an accident, just exchange information. So I would say I think it's almost since COVID. I think pre-COVID they used to come more, and then the world changed after that. And I think now I would say a good 30% of my clients who have car accidents don't have police come to the scene.
Okay.
Well, it used to be close to 100%.
Well, Jill, thank you so much. I'm sorry to sort of intrude on your privacy, but I mean, when the guy who's like the star of the podcast and his wife, like coincidentally, gets in an accident the same week we're doing the podcast, you can't not mention it. So anyways, thank you very much for allowing us to share this with the audience.
You're welcome anytime, and hopefully next time it will not be for anything like this.
I hope so. This is the end of part 1 of 2 of our conversation with David about what to do when you are involved in an automobile accident. Stay tuned for part 2, which will be coming soon and available at this very same link.
David is a partner at the firm of Grover and Fensterstock. Their 24-hour hotline is 1-866-99-LAWYER or 866-995-2993. The direct line is 212-527-7575. This podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. Laws vary by jurisdiction and can change over time. If you need legal advice regarding a personal injury matter, feel free to consult our host, David Grover, in New York State, or an attorney located in your home state to discuss the details of your case. Copyright 2026. Grover and Fensterstock, PC, all rights reserved.